Go ahead and have a seat, sir.
All righty.
And thank you for being here.
This is kind of like being called to the principal's
Is that
office,
what it is?
you know?
Not quite the same feel, but I get it. I get it. Hello, Bulldogs, and welcome to this very exciting new video series called Grow With Garfield. Now, today we're joined by Garfield Heights Mayor Matt Burke, and is very grateful that you decided to visit with us today. Now, we're going to spend a few minutes just talking about important topics that both face the city and the school district, and talk a little bit about our working relationship, and hopefully we have a little bit of fun too. If we do, then perhaps from time to time we can return back with Mayor Burke and keep a regular conversation moving forward. So let's begin. So again, thank you, Mayor Burke, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
No, not an issue right there, but wanted to really just talk about, you are an alumnus of Garfield Heights City Schools.
That's right. I graduated in 1988. I kid around with the kids. I tell them it took me 4 years to get out of high school, and they're so serious nowadays. They're like, really? It took you 4 years? You're the mayor. It took you 4. I'm like, yeah, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade.
And they're like, oh, okay.
They're like, okay, you got me good on that one, you know?
And as an alumnus, you are very passionate about the success of our children. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. I mean, the success of our children is the success of our city. I was just speaking with a company yesterday. You've probably seen their sign. They're in Highland Park. They're called MPAC. They're looking to bring their entire Canadian facility, recreate what they have in the UK, right here in Garfield Heights. They've hired a new managing director, but one of their concerns is, where do we develop the workforce? And that's something that we talked about. So I look forward to working with that. But you know, when it comes to the students and the children, I am a big proponent of the children. You know, I feel like I have a story to tell. I didn't always have the best childhood. I dealt with a lot of adversity, but I'm here to tell you that, you know, the Garfield Heights City school system has always been great for me. I believe that if you want the education is there. We provide enough as a school district that if you want it and you're serious about it, you're going to go out and get it. You know, it can't just be the teachers and the administration and the school board. It has to be the student too that is focused on it.
And so, you know, we've had several conversations about that. And one of the things that I wanted to ensure that once our students are graduating, when they're graduates, that they have options, whether they want to go straight to the workforce or whether they want to go to the military or off to college or trade school. We want them to have those opportunities, and partnership with the city would develop those opportunities so we can create a pipeline for companies like Impact who are looking for workers. I think that our relationship as a school district and the city, it goes hand in hand. And the things that we're trying to do together, we shouldn't work in silos. We shouldn't work and just say, hey, you know, here's the school district, here's the city. We should work in partnership, and we've done that so far. Those are the things that have been very successful with our conversations.
Yeah, you know, I've done a lot of traveling in my career as a floor covering rep. I've gone to a lot of different big towns, small towns. I will tell you that the successful school systems and the successful towns are those that, you know, work together. You know, when you have the local Rotary Club that has the basketball coach, the head basketball coach is their guest speaker at a luncheon. That is what those are types of things that I'd like to see here in Garfield Heights. What are you working on as far as, you know, programs? I'm excited to hear what you're working on.
Yeah, we have a lot of things. One of the things that we are working on is just to make sure that our partnerships are effective partnerships, and not just us just getting to know corporations or companies, but also just creating those partnerships. We are a part of the GCCC, which is the Greater Cleveland Career Consortium. And what we're using with that is to ensure that those relationships are there, and they're legitimate relationships where there are opportunities that are going to be developing for our kids to have internships, to have job shadowing opportunities, because we want them to have those opportunities. And obviously, they get a lot from our partnership with CVCC, where they're learning those skills. But we want them to not only just be in those classrooms and learn those skill sets, but also to have those opportunities. So our partnerships with corporations, our partnerships with organizations that are helping us with our partnership with corporations, that's going to help not only the kids who are coming through as graduates, but also help this community as well.
How was the opening of the school this year?
We actually had a very good opening to the school year. We started off with a community event, and thank you for participating. You seem to make your way and show up consistently for us, and we thank you for that. But we had a community event. A lot of people showed up, and that community event is always going to be a part of what we're trying to do to start off the school year, because as I've said in one of our most recent meetings in the community, is that we can't do it by ourselves. We need the help of the community to come in and to assist, to read to our students, to be greeters at the door when they're entering the building, to help at lunch or at recess. We need the help of this community. But also our K-5 transition, we did something a little different. It was a bit tough in the communication at the beginning to make sure everyone understood why it was necessary for us to have this K-5 transition, and it has been very successful. I will invite anyone to go into our elementary schools to see what's happening in these buildings. We just recently talked to one of our principals, and her building is one of the buildings that I'm talking about, where you walk in that building, everyone is on the same page. Obviously, we're still dealing with children and people, so we're still going to have our challenges, but the work is moving forward, and there's a lot of good work that's happening. We've done a lot of things just to make sure we're responding to the needs of our students in the buildings. So this has been a good start for the year. Obviously, I'm always looking to get better, but this has been a very good start to the school year.
That's excellent news. Excellent news.
How do you feel that the city can continue to help us with identifying resources and help us with safety and security? And then we'll talk about a little bit of the things that we're doing in our buildings.
Well, first of all, I think you have to be involved. And I believe the mayor's office, the administration, the city administration needs to be involved. We need to take a leadership role too, and provide what we can. I've always heard, and I've been a councilman for a long time, council president, and now the mayor, and I've always heard, well, the school is in their lane and the city is in its lane, and but at some point, those lanes have to merge a little bit, because I can't sell a city without a good school district, and we're not going to attract those big businesses to come here with families, if we don't provide that. So on a safety issue, I want you to know that we have everything available to you, every resource. We've invested a lot over the last 3 years in officers. We've grown from 48 officers to 55. We actually have 55 officers that we're allowed to hire. We currently have 54. We have what we call a floating officer. That is so that when you have an officer that's entering retirement, they've banked 200 days of vacation. So they're going to retire in 200 days, and they just announced they're retiring, but they're taking vacation for 200 days. And it takes the officer off the street and short staffs the police department. So we added that floating officer so that we can adjust for that. And what that does is it helps you. It provides us the amount of staffing we need to help you with what your needs are. We've invested in drone technology. We have 2 K-9 officers, and we have the first of its kind elite, what we call pigs on patrol. And that is the guinea pigs that we have actually at the dispatch center. A lot of people make fun of me as a mayor. Other mayors say, hey, you guys have guinea pigs? I said, yeah, don't knock it till you try it. But, and the talk about helping people to de-escalate, a lot of times they're still unable to focus. And when you're able to sit there and here's this guinea pig and it de-escalates the situation. Not to mention, and I've told the chief of police this, I would love our officers to get into like William Foster and Elmwood with the guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Because we named one of them BOLO, which stands for Be on the Lookout. And it teaches the young children to always be on the lookout for these things. And I just think it's outside the box thinking. I applaud Chief K and his people for actually doing that. I mean, who thinks of these things?
Chief K has been awesome for us. So it's been a great relationship with the police department, with the city, as the police department has been very visible around our buildings. That adds to what we're talking about with safety and security. And we have an SRO as well in the school district, and he's outstanding, building relationships with our students and just making sure that his presence is known, and not just as an officer keeping them safe, but as a resource for them if they need someone to talk to as well. But we've been addressing a lot of the things that we found was an issue since the day that I walked in. We've added to our security team, additional security associates, but that hits the surface. We really need to do something to really get to the core of why our children have made some tough decisions. So we've partnered with other organizations that come into our buildings and work with our students on de-escalation and just coping skills as well. And then on top of that, we added a dean's position, which is kind of a liaison between our buildings and our families as well. And lastly, we added to our counseling team. We wanted to get to the core of why we are here, why our children are having some challenges. You know, these are some things that we found were extremely important for us to address. And our school board has supported our efforts to make sure that we made some adjustments. Obviously, in our buildings, we have in our secondary buildings, we still have our clear book bags for our middle school. We still have our metal detectors, but it's more about getting to the core of the things that we're doing for our kids. So we have been doing a great job with addressing those things. Our teachers have been doing an outstanding job with building relationships. We have a real SEL focus. We have an SEL coordinator that we've hired to really assist us with understanding what the need is. We could do some things where we're suspending all the time, and we're consistent with what we're doing with our discipline, but I want kids to be in school. I want kids to learn, and I need them to be present, and the only way we can do that is really serving them where the need really is. So those have been the things that helped us with our safety and security for this year. And I invite anyone who wants to just kind of come in again, just want to come in and serve our students alongside with us. I will invite them to volunteer to be a part of this.
Yeah, I've always said, you know, don't be part of the criticism, be part of the solution. You know, help with these plans. I mean, I could tell you firsthand, I'm not an educator, and you probably don't want me educating the children, but I try to be a good role model, you know. And coming from Garfield Heights, you know, growing up in Garfield Heights, being a 1988 grad, I could tell you there are so many people I know that have come through the Garfield Heights School District and gone on to, I mean, really, really great careers. Wilma Smith was a news anchor for a long time, but even like around my class, okay, I could tell you about a young man named Danny Rollins, who is he's like a top-notch lawyer down in North Carolina. We have a reality TV star.
I was wondering if you were going to mention her.
Her name is Beth Stolarczyk,
Yes.
and it's really crazy because I remember her as a student, like when I was a student.
Wow.
And then I see her on the MTV reality All Stars, and then she's on
Real
the
World,
Challenge, the
yes.
Real World
Yeah.
Challenger All Stars. She was on the Gauntlet. I just actually caught an episode of Real World,
Yeah.
and she had her mom on the show with her.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is great. This is family in Garfield Heights on national TV. So there's a lot to celebrate, you know, and I think sometimes we lose focus of in letting the children know that you can come through Garfield Heights and you can achieve a lot.
And that's where we are right now, where we talk about some things that we're doing differently as new guys in this situation where our city and our school district, we need a revival. And what that revival is, just a renewal in the spirit of this community. And that's what we're trying to provide. We're trying to bring folks together. That's why when we were at the community meeting, we had a lot of folks who wanted to participate and be a part of this. That was outstanding. That was almost, it was something that recharged me after I posted out to the community and so many people responded that they wanted to help. That is what this whole what revival is all about, is making sure that those relationships between the city and the community and the school district, make sure that we know that we can't be successful unless we do this thing together.
From my lens, as a mayor, I have a lot of residents that will call me and say, Mayor, I want to get involved. I just don't know how. And the other night at that Neighbors on Duty meeting, you have a bunch of people that were talking about safety. They were hearing things on social media that obviously weren't true. They came, I applaud them for showing up and coming, and what they got was firsthand factual knowledge from yourself, from the Garfield Heights Police. You were talking about our police and how great they've been. I don't want to leave the firefighters out of this either, because I was here this summer. I participated, I don't know if you were aware of this, I participated in an active shooter training right here at the high school. And of course, they were going to have fun with the mayor. Let's see if he can bust through a door with that battering ram. And
How'd you do, by the way?
I probably stacked up to about 40% of the officers, so I don't feel so bad. I'm not trained in that, but I didn't do too bad. I didn't make a fool of myself, which was great.
That's what I'm talking.
But to see how serious that both the departments work together. I mean, to set up a centralized command just like that. And this is all part of the training that they go through. So it's serious stuff, and I don't think that the public really gets to see that. It's not something that we go, hey, we're going to have an active shooter training. We want to invite everybody out. It just happens. And when you look at our officers, our target enforcement unit, and how well we work with the federal marshals and the BCI and local SEAL team, SWAT team, they're serious, and they've got it down to a science. I believe we've got the very best in our neck of the woods here. So
I like that. I like that.
And they're there for you too. So that's
why
great.
I like that. Because we benefit from that as well,
right.
From the trainings, from allowing that partnership where they use the facilities to really train. Those are the type of partnerships that I'm referring to, where we are working hand in hand to make sure that our city has this training that happened was more than just a training to make sure that they understand the building, but it's training that can also help the community in situations where they need to respond accordingly. So we're thankful for that partnership.
Are you a Browns fan yet?
Man, they're still working on me.
Have you come to the good side yet?
I am a Browns fan. Browns fans are real fans. We're having a tough season in Carolina. Yes, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. Die-hard Carolina Panthers fan, by the way. We're struggling a little bit right now, and now you hear a little less talk about the team. But when the Browns are struggling, like, they're doing well right now. When the years of long ago, I'm gonna say it like that so I don't get attacked. But years of long ago when they were struggling, you guys were there every Sunday, packing up stands, out there tailgating. Those are real fans, and hopefully, because we're kind of young and we're around since '95, hopefully we'll get to the point where we're dedicated and we're committed to our team. Win, lose, or draw, we're committed, but not quite on that yet. But I'm a Browns fan.
Well, I just recently met Sayoni Takitaki.
I know that name.
He is a linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, and we've been texting back and forth. I met him at an event for MPAC, and they were cutting the ribbon there. And he said, Mayor, I want to help you. How can I help you? I said, we got to get you in front of kids. So look for that. I'm working on that.
Let's make that.
I don't know
work.
that he can commit right now. He's worried about making sacks and intercepting footballs.
Yes, he's doing his job. He's doing his job.
Once that season's over, I'm sure he'll be able to
Tell him to pop
have
on
some
by.
time.
Tell him to pop on by.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
always welcome. He's always
Absolutely.
welcome. So, I hear that you are a musician.
I am. I'm okay, I would say.
I'd love to set up something right here on the stage where we have a great team of students and in a lot of different organizations, and they are huge musicians. They are outstanding. I love to create something where you can come in and show off your talents a little bit.
I would love to do that. I'll tell you what, you have some great, talented children in this school. Last year, we did the event with Bootsy Collins.
Yes.
I mean, living legend, right?
I was
Rock and Roll
starstruck.
Hall
I'm
of
not even
Fame.
gonna play. Yes.
And I got to tell you, Music Express, they showed up. They showed up big.
They did great out there, and it was a hot day, and they stayed focused. And when it was time for them to really get on, they were great. At Music Express, they own the stage. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, they own this stage right here, and every year they are competing and doing well, and somehow Mr. Bernard, he does a great job with recruiting more and more kids every single year. And the thing that you saw is something that we do every single year. We do a great job.
I would love to participate with them if they can find a spot for me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I play the guitar, I sing. I've been very blessed to have that type of talent over the years. I discovered it after high school. It's kind of crazy, but a lot of the people I went to high school with go, I can't, but when did this happen? And it's, when you're having kids and you can't do anything, you're sitting at home, all your friends are out partying still, and you're at home, I picked up a guitar and I discovered that, hey, I can play this a little bit. And then it just evolved. I've played in Nashville, Tennessee. I've done shows with living legends like Loretta Lynn and Brooks and Dunn.
Really?
So, I've been on the same bill with a lot of these guys, but I always looked at it like, this is my hobby. It's not a job, it's a hobby, and you got to have some fun things,
You gotta have some.
So any way I can share it, it's a God-given talent, and any way I can share it, I'm always willing to share it.
I like that. And what I can do to assist you with that, I can applaud loudly. That's all I can do. I can't do any of that other stuff, but I can sit right there and go. I can cheer real loud. I'll do that for you. But no, I saw something where you had an event, ride with the mayor or bike with the mayor.
Yeah, we just did that about 2 weeks ago. What it is Cuyahoga County, part of the work that we do as mayors in all of Cuyahoga County is we're always on a mission to try to make Cleveland, because when you look at it, we're Garfield Heights, but we are also Cleveland, right? And we're trying to put Cleveland on the map. And I've done a lot of traveling, so I've gone to Seattle, I've gone to Baltimore, New York, Chicago. They all have one thing in common. They all have waterfronts that are tourist attractions. And Cleveland is desperately trying to get there. You just saw the announcement for the river, I think they're calling it the river front development. And it's beautiful with their renderings, right? But part of that is to try to attract people from other parts of the United States. One of the initiatives is to create the trails. And what happens is when we have a tendency, I don't know, my age group, my generation, and generations older than me have a tendency to think the only way you get around is with a car. And some of the younger generations, and I've talked to them, they get around on bicycles. They have electric bicycles. They're all about keeping the environment clean, and air quality, things like that are important to them. So if we can create the trail, it helps them to be able to connect and get to, some people, that's how they get to work. is by bus or by their bicycle. I know one young gentleman that's exactly how he goes around a lot of times. He doesn't own a car, and I applaud him. He doesn't care about how much the gas prices are, right? So they had this, Celebrate Trails bike with the mayor. The county had asked a bunch of mayors to do it, and since I'm a rider, I did it. And Cuyahoga County Executive Ronayne showed up. And he was like unannounced. He showed up. He's a cyclist, and he is Cuyahoga County through and through. But we took him from Garfield Culinary all the way down to Warner Road, and we showed him where the trail from the towpath comes up Warner Road and connects. We're going to be redoing Garfield Boulevard. So then we went down to the Mill Creek Falls, and we saw the falls. Now, if anybody's ever seen those falls, they're bigger than Chagrin Falls. So you go there, and then we cut back to Garfield Park Reservation where they're redoing the ponds, right? So there's a lot going on in Garfield Heights, but even he said, I cannot believe all the stuff that's going on in your town. And I said, the county, I don't want to take credit for this. I mean, I helped. But the county, the state, our city administration, we've all been busy to try to make all this happen because we understand the connectability and we want to do our part to make Cleveland stack up with Chicago. You know who benefits from that? Our children.
Yes, every time.
It keeps them here, So
Mayor, the relationship with the city and the school district is extremely important to this community. So any parting words about or thoughts about Growing with Garfield?
Absolutely. I want to just go on record to say that I do want to be that mayor that is involved with these children in the schools. I feel that's very important. And where it's important is we are going to grow. This city is growing already with the amount of businesses that are coming in. And getting the news from MPAC that they're possibly, they're going to bring a distribution center here at some point in time, but they want to grow. And I have to make sure that the future software engineers, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, doctors, lawyers, nurses, I have to make sure that the future candidates for that are able to enter into the workforce. So the only way we can develop that workforce is to partner with the Garfield Heights City School District and partner with the colleges. We're in partnership now with Tri-C and Cleveland State, and we're reaching out to Case Western because they're a great engineering college. So we have to do that because at the end of the day, we're still in competition with all the other communities around us. And if we do that, it puts us one step above them. And that's how we're going to grow. Yeah. And I want our children, it's really good if we just come up with all these programs, but nobody tells the kids. And we have to make sure our students are aware that there's growth opportunity for them if whatever path they choose as far as a career, and there'll be incentives for them.
So, Mayor, I just want to make sure I take the opportunity right now just to thank you for your vision and that relationship between the school district and the city. It is vital to the growth of Garfield Heights. We want to ensure that we are doing the things that are right for our children and also the things that are right for our community as well. So thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
And
anytime you need me.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Reach out. I want to thank Dr. Reynolds for this great discussion, and together we both truly believe that we can grow with Garfield. Hopefully, we can be back from time to time and discuss important matters. Thank you for joining us, and go Bulldogs.